Prince William takes charge and kicks Camilla out following her shocking luxury yacht scandal. Did Prince William just pull off the most ruthless, ice-cold internal coup in British royal history? Or did Queen Camilla honestly believe she could hide a multi-million-dollar luxury yacht scandal from the future King of England? Music. Look, if you thought palace drama peaked with Harry and Meghan, you need to grab your popcorn and sit down right now, because what just went down behind the gated walls of Buckingham Palace makes Shakespeare look like a bedtime story. We are talking about a secret Mediterranean getaway, off-the-books foreign billionaires, and a paper trail so dirty that even the palace press office couldn't scrub it clean. For months, the royal machinery tried to convince you that Camilla was just quietly enjoying a private summer holiday. But a single routine maritime insurance filing accidentally blew the entire cover-up wide open. And when Prince William got a hold of those documents, he didn't just ask questions. He systematically seized control of the firm, stripped her access, and threw Queen Camilla out of the decision-making loop forever. Was this a desperate move by William to protect his mother's legacy? Or has the heir to the throne officially stepped up to purge the monarchy before it collapses under another massive corruption scandal? The official explanations are crumbling in real time, and what we're about to uncover will completely change how you look at the British royal family. So let's break down how this entire disaster actually started, because to understand why Prince William went full scorched earth on the Queen Consort, you have to look at the sheer, unadulterated arrogance of the getaway itself. We are talking about late July 2025, a time when the British public was being told that the senior royals were taking a well-deserved, low-key summer break. William and Kate were out in the open doing brutal, back-to-back public engagements across the United Kingdom. They were visiting children's hospices in Birmingham, meeting with shivering veterans near Edinburgh, and doing everything humanly possible to convince the taxpayers that the royal family is hardworking, grounded, and deeply empathetic to the cost of living crisis hitting ordinary households. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away, anchored in the crystal clear, blindingly expensive waters off the southern coast of France, Queen Camilla was living it up on a 300-foot floating mansion that didn't appear on a single court circular, public schedule, or official palace itinerary. This was not a royal yacht, mind you. It wasn't chartered by the Crown Estate, it had zero official royal security logs, and there wasn't a single press briefing issued to the royal correspondents who literally make a living tracking every move these people make. The vessel in question was a mega yacht registered under a shadowy holding company based out of Luxembourg, belonging to an ultra-wealthy European financier, whose name is basically synonymous with high-stakes political lobbying and shady land deals. This is a man whose company maintains active financial interests in agricultural policy, heritage property laws, and massive real estate developments across the West Country. In other words, he is involved in the exact sectors where royal patronages and duchy decisions can magically yield hundreds of millions of dollars in favor. He is precisely the kind of walking, talking conflict of interest that the royal family vowed to stay a million miles away from after the Prince Andrew scandals obliterated their public credibility. And yet, there was Camilla clinking champagne glasses on deck with a guest list that reads like a rogues gallery of political influence peddlers. We're talking about a major political party donor, who currently has aggressive, contested property planning applications sitting in front of local councils. We're talking about a European media executive, whose networks regularly bid for lucrative Crown-endorsed broadcasting contracts. And to make matters even more absurdly scandalous, at least 2 individuals on board were actively named in leaked European Union lobbying files regarding backroom trade influences. None of these people were there in an official capacity. None of them were vetted by royal security. And absolutely none of them were supposed to be seen by the general public. Now, you might be asking yourself, how on earth did a top-secret offshore billionaire retreat involving the Queen of England get exposed? Was it a high-stakes sting operation by investigative journalists? Did a disgruntled former butler leak the palace diary to the tabloid press? No. The absolute funniest, most insane part of this whole saga is that the scandal didn't unravel because of some mastermind investigation. It crumbled because of a completely mundane, utterly boring maritime insurance filing that literally nobody on Earth reads unless they suffer from severe insomnia. When a luxury vessel enters certain international waters or docks at specific high-end marinas, maritime regulation requires a routine ship registry log update for liability and insurance compliance. An eagle-eyed independent royal researcher, who spends way too much time cross-referencing public maritime registries, happened to spot the filing placing the vessel at an exclusive French Riviera port. Out of pure curiosity, this researcher cross-referenced the ship's precise coordinates with a background photograph accidentally posted on a private Instagram account by one of the billionaire's socialite friends. The photo showed a lavish, candle-lit seafood dinner on the top deck. And sitting right there at the head of the table, wearing a tropical silk kaftan and holding a glass of vintage wine, was the queen consort herself, looking as relaxed as a person who genuinely believes they are untouchable. Even though the user panicked and deleted the photo within minutes, the internet never forgets. Someone took a high-resolution screenshot, and within 48 hours, that single image was circulating through encrypted messaging channels straight into the hands of investigative journalists in London and Germany. The German media outlet in particular had spent nearly a decade mapping European corporate lobbying networks, so the second they saw Camilla sitting at a dinner table surrounded by men who actively lobby for property exemptions in the UK, they realized they weren't just looking at a cozy summer vacation. They were looking at a massive structural integrity compromise at the very top of the British monarchy. By the second week of August, reporters were quietly calling Buckingham Palace asking for basic clarification on Camilla's summer itinerary. And the response from the palace press office was complete, unadulterated chaos. They had literally zero records of the trip. The press officers, who are trained to spin almost anything into a positive story about charitable duty, were caught completely flat-footed. They couldn't issue a denial because the photo was indisputably real. They couldn't claim it was an official engagement because it violated every single protocol regarding foreign travel disclosures. And they couldn't claim it was a private family holiday because King Charles wasn't even on the boat. When the news finally trickled up to Kensington Palace, the reaction from Prince William was not just anger. According to multiple internal palace sources, it was an atmosphere of absolute ice-cold fury. You see, for the last 18 months, William had been quietly waging a war inside the palace walls to modernize the monarchy's ethics framework. After watching his uncle Prince Andrew drag the family name through the mud with shady foreign billionaires, and after watching his brother Prince Harry burn down institutional trust for Netflix money, William had drawn a hard line in the sand. He had drafted a strict, mandatory policy document regarding external relationships, private hospitality, and non-disclosure rules for all senior working royals. This wasn't a suggestion. It was a mandatory compliance guideline designed to insulate the crown from future corruption scandals. Camilla's office had received that document. Her private secretary had signed off on the receipt of those updated ethics rules. And she went on that billionaire's yacht anyway, completely ignoring the guidelines because she assumed her status as the king's wife made her immune to the rules that applied to everyone else. But she vastly underestimated how little patience William has for people who jeopardize the survival of the institution he is set to inherit. William doesn't throw screaming tantrums like the tabloids love to claim. He doesn't go on television to whine about his feelings. William operates like a corporate executioner. When he decides you are a liability to the crown, he doesn't negotiate. He isolates you, he cuts off your resources, and he systematically removes you from the machine until you are nothing more than a figurehead with zero actual power. And if Camilla thought she could just wait out the media storm while hiding behind King Charles, she was about to get the shock of her life. Because what she didn't know was that William didn't find out about the yacht trip from the journalist calling the press office. He already knew about it while she was still on the boat. Someone inside her own tight-knit circle, a staff member, a security officer, or perhaps one of the guests who realized the sheer legal risk of the situation, had quietly sent a detailed summary of the trip straight to Kensington Palace weeks before the Maritime Registry filing ever became public. William was simply waiting for the inevitable media explosion so he could use it as the ultimate leverage to launch his internal purge. When the press office finally admitted off the record that the trip took place, Camilla's team attempted to brush it off with the classic, dismissive response that private travel during personal leave is entirely a matter for the individual royal. But that pathetic excuse completely fell apart when researchers began digging into the holding company that owned the vessel. Verlaine Capital Partners, the Luxembourg entity behind the super yacht, wasn't just some random luxury management firm. One of its key listed directors was a British national who had been explicitly flagged in a parliamentary report regarding dark money influences in UK real estate markets. This wasn't just a rich friend lending a boat. This was a direct, documented link between the Queen Consort and an international lobbying firm with active commercial interests in the United Kingdom. And to make matters 10 times worse, Records showed that just weeks before Camilla stepped foot on that yacht, a charitable foundation deeply tied to her personal network had received an Prince William takes charge and kicks Camilla out following her shocking luxury yacht scandal. Did Prince William just pull off the most ruthless, ice-cold internal coup in British royal history? Or did Queen Camilla honestly believe she could hide a multi-million-dollar luxury yacht scandal from the future King of England? Music. Look, if you thought palace drama peaked with Harry and Meghan, you need to grab your popcorn and sit down right now, because what just went down behind the gated walls of Buckingham Palace makes Shakespeare look like a bedtime story. We are talking about a secret Mediterranean getaway, off-the-books foreign billionaires, and a paper trail so dirty that even the palace press office couldn't scrub it clean. For months, the royal machinery tried to convince you that Camilla was just quietly enjoying a private summer holiday. But a single routine maritime insurance filing accidentally blew the entire cover-up wide open. And when Prince William got a hold of those documents, he didn't just ask questions. He systematically seized control of the firm.